Banco Industrial. Justo, el banco que necesitas.
Fundación YPF presenta Arte en la Torre, un programa creado para acercar a todos las producciones artísticas de vanguardia, con el objetivo de estimular el espíritu creativo y crítico del país. Más información en www.fundacionypf.org.
El término arte urbano describe todo el arte expresado en la calle. Para esta edición del Puma Urban Art tuvimos el honor de conocer a 3 artistas consagrados en el mundo entero. Clayton Brothers, 2 hermanos americanos con obras exhibidas en todo el mundo, incluyendo grandes shows en Dinamarca, China e Inglaterra.
Muy bien.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Serio. Okay, I would like to know about your story. How do you start painting together? Everybody knows that you are brothers, blah, 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 but how this became a career for you?
Well, we've always been involved in the arts. Growing up, we came from an art family. Our father was a photographer and a graphic designer and an illustrator. And we grew up around artists. All of his friends were artists, and we really didn't know anything else. But before we started working together as Clayton Brothers, we both had individual careers, and basically we shared studio space for a while, and all of a sudden one day we just started to kind of go back and forth painting on some paintings with one another, and it started from there. So it was fun. It was a lot different than just working individually. It was a lot more free. I didn't feel, for me personally, didn't feel as responsible for the outcome of the painting. And that to me opened up a whole big world of something fun to do on a daily basis. So
yeah, same. I think we share so much of the same as far as influences go, and our history goes back to always us being together. But we love to make images, and you know, I think when we first got started was probably through skateboarding and music, and we made drawings and things like that, but nothing on any sort of a career level. Never even thought of it as a career. But then the more we started to share the influences, we started to then we would always show each other things that we were making, and he would see what I was doing, I'd see what he was doing. It just became natural where we started to give each other direction and then started to work on each other's works. And when that happened, it became so unpredictable. It was like a whole new
Word open, right?
Yeah,
it's like
and it's that way today. It's like no matter if we start a new project, it throws us for a loop. I mean, it's a little bit tough in the beginning, but it's so challenging and it's rewarding, and it's not mine. It's not his. It's ours. So.
And what do you think about telepatia? Because your work together has to have a lot of telepathic, no? Or I don't know how to say in English, telepatia.
We're brothers. We share a brotherly bond. So when you've spent your whole life with somebody, you kind of have ideas of the things that they like, and they have ideas of the things you like. But that doesn't necessarily always factor into the way that we produce artwork.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to me.
Thank you.
Leslie Ivers es la nieta del creador de Mickey Mouse e hizo un documental sobre la vida de este y sobre la historia de Pixar, los creadores de Toy Story.
So Leslie, what are you doing here?
Here, I've been invited by the Urban Film Festival to screen my 2 movies and speak. My film is The Pixar Story and The Hand Behind the Mouse, the story of my grandfather, who was the original designer of Mickey Mouse.
It's really that or not?
Yes, of course.
Yes? The truth is that your grandfather made Mickey Mouse.
He was the original designer, yes,
Wow.
and animator. And his second film was a film called Galloping Gaucho.
No.
Which was Tango Mickey.
Really?
Yes.
And he came to Argentina?
No.
No, really?
No.
And why is Argentinian tango? Why is a Mickey Gaucho?
Because he was after Douglas Fairbanks, the Gaucho, the original movie.
Yeah. So tell me the story of Toy Story, no?
Pixar's an amazing company. They've been around since 1986 when the company was founded by Steve Jobs, John Lasseter, and Ed Catmull. And they worked for a little over 10 years. And they were the creators of the first computer animated feature film, Toy Story. They had a dream, much like Walt Disney did, to create the first animated feature film with Snow White. They did the first computer animated feature film, Toy Story. So there's a lot of parallels between the original Disney company, which my grandfather, Walt Disney, and Roy Disney founded, and the original Pixar, well, the Pixar.
And how was the beginning of this company?
Pixar?
Yeah.
Well, they started from the Lucasfilm division. So Lucasfilm had a computer graphics division, and Ed Catmull was the head of that, the director of the computer graphics division, and they started doing all these amazing computer graphics work, you know, in feature films like Young Sherlock Holmes and Star Trek Wrath of Khan, and they were experimenting, and George could see the potential in computer graphics. And this group really just started to really create all these amazing scenes in motion pictures that were done by computers. And John Lasseter was hired from Disney. It was at that point that the guys could all see that there was a future in computer animation.
But it wasn't easy, right?
Not at all.
At the beginning.
Well, no, because there was no money in it, and it was way ahead of ahead of the game, right? They were inventing the software.
Wow.
And the hardware. What did Pixar learn from Disney was story, story, story. It's all about story.
Well, Leslie, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Calma. Es un artista brasileño, hijo de un ministro evangélico. Pasó su niñez absorbiendo el vocabulario visual del arte religioso.
¿Cómo nace esta historia tuya con la religión? ¿Por qué es tan importante la religión y por qué empezaste por aí?
Então, eu cresci numa família muito religiosa. Meu pai, ele era pastor evangélico. Minha mãe também trabalhava na igreja. Então eu cresci vendo essas coisas muito de perto e vendo pessoas muito fanáticas. E aí eu tinha vontade de estudar como que a religião influencia a sociedade, o indivíduo e a sociedade, como influencia, por exemplo, a constituição de um país, né? Os países latinos, muitas constituições são baseadas na Bíblia.
¿Cómo es esto de llevar el arte de la iglesia, lo que me contabas hoy, ¿no? De llevar la iglesia al museo, a ver cómo nace esta historia.
Eu sempre achei muito interessante que as principais obras, as principais igrejas, feitas por grandes mestres, artistas, que muitas vezes não concordavam com a religião, mas eles faziam o templo para as pessoas. Eu acredito que faziam mais para o povo do que para a instituição. E depois que eu fiz a capela na Bahia, eu comecei a tentar desenvolver uma série de instalações em museus inspiradas em templos, mas não de uma religião específica. O papel que a igreja tinha da pessoa ir e meditar e ter um momento de reflexão, de paz, hoje em dia muitas pessoas vão em museus e galerias atrás disso.
Para pensar
¿no
y para... Son como estudios antropológicos, porque esto que te fuiste a Bahía, estuviste ahí estudiando a la gente, ¿no es cierto? Mucho tiempo, qué pensaban, les hiciste una iglesia, vi fotos, ¿no? Que la gente utiliza para rezar.
Sim. Uma parte do meu estudo é a interação da pessoa com a religião, né? E no caso, é a interação da pessoa com a obra de arte também. Porque a obra de arte pode ser um instrumento meditativo, né? Como as mandalas.
¿Qué sentís cuando ves a las personas que están rezando bajo tu obra, digamos, en tu obra?
Bom, primeiramente eu senti, foi uma emoção forte, né? Eu fiquei muito impressionado, mas depois eu refleti que ali a obra não pertencia mais a mim. Não da maneira quando se vende uma obra, né? Mas realmente tinha sido incorporada na sociedade.
Bueno, muchas gracias.
Esto fue el Club del Arte, edición urbana.